I'm really looking forward to these sneakers when they drop. Here's why. This video is sponsored by the good people over at Otis. Otis is an alternative investment platform that makes it possible for almost anyone to invest in shares of cultural assets. Downloading the Otis app and signing up for free allows you to follow the weekly drops and buy and sell shares of rare and high-end collectibles, sneakers, and art. A couple things that I think will catch your guys' interest are the fact that you can invest in the most coveted sneakers like the Nike and Travis Scott collection that also contain both of the Friends and Family Air Jordan 4s. Not to mention you can invest and buy shares in 3 of the Nike Air Jordan 1s from 1985, featuring some Chicagos and Breads. Cards also available to invest in, such as the original first edition PSA 10 Venusaur from base set. At the bottom of every item, you have a breakdown of the item and everything that you need to know, which I think is super helpful. Sign up for Otis with the link in my description and get your first share free when you fund your account. Now, let's get into the video. Now, there have been a ton of dope sneaker releases that have released, in the past couple of months, but I do think that this year is going to be a different year, because I know that we were treated to several Nike SB Dunks and Nike Dunk colorways last year, but the amount that's going to be releasing this year is like incomparable to what we've seen last year. And the best part is that they are going to be mass produced, GR, and releasing an amazing and simple colorways. Let's go and check a few out. What's going on, you guys? I'm Salvador and welcome back to another video, and today I talk about a ton of other investments that you can make, a ton of other upcoming sneaker releases to look out for, and why and what makes them so desirable. If you like more of these videos, make sure to like and also subscribe, you want to. But yeah, on with the video and why I think that these Nike Dunks and Nike SB Dunk releases are going to be big and why you should take these more seriously. The Nike Dunk hype train doesn't seem like it's stopping anytime soon, and there's a lot of variables that make this hype train, I think, in my opinion, to be everlasting and I see the longevity of this Nike Dunk train. I know with sneakers such as like the Yeezy Boost 350 V2 that had an immense amount of hype around 2017, 2018, but that hype has since died down because there was a ton of saturated GR sneakers that made no sense whatsoever. It wasn't really OG, it wasn't really what the people wanted at the time. Like, I know people wanted Yeezys, but they didn't want 100 million shades of the same color, the same earthy color. But the thing is, I think that the Nike SB Dunk and the Nike Dunk Lows, they're so culturally impactful that just make them everlasting. And I do see the longevity with these sneakers, just because it's not like they just popped out one day and they were instantly hyped. They've been collected for how many years? Like, ever since 20 or so years that sneakers have been collecting the Nike SB Dunks and the Nike Dunks. And yeah, I just do think that they are retro sneakers, so there's a lot of history that goes on between the sneaker. It was one of the most OG collected sneakers back in the day, and then I do think that these are just timeless. The silhouette is timeless. It can be worn with anything. Those are low retail costs as well. They were like going for 90 USD, and they were even hitting outlets, so people who wanted a budget pair of sneakers that matched with anything could go towards the Nike SB Dunks and Nike Dunk Lows. But whereas the things like the Yeezys, the retail was like 220 USD. There was like barely any stock, and then the only way you could get them was if you were financially abundant enough to pay resale for a lot of those items, which 70% of the sneaker community was not able to meet those requirements. Therefore, you see now people rarely rock them anyway. They were like yesterday's trend, and it was a fading fad. One thing that I like about Nike Dunks in general is the fact that they are super wearable and versatile, and the fact that you don't need to be a sneakerhead to rock these. Like I say in every single video about the Nike Dunks, is that I've seen a ton of TikTokers, I've seen a ton of like influencers online. They've been rocking the Nike Dunks, and then they really rock them well with some nice vintage outfits or some nice oversized t-shirt with the little skater vibe. And I think that aesthetic is really and I think that that's been an aesthetic that has been heavily focused on in the current climate with fashion and mainstream fashion as well, and in the influence that social media personalities have on their audience. So I think that the demand for these Nike SB Dunks and the Nike Dunks, I think that it is justified because a ton of people see the value of the sneaker itself. Like, not to mention that it's retro, not to mention that it's just like a sneaker but I think that people just genuinely like the aesthetic of it and in what the outfits that they can produce from just that sneaker. Now, the big news that I wanted to talk about today in this video is the fact that there's going to be a ton of GR sneakers and a ton of solid, basic colorways that are going to be releasing for both the male and the female. Yes, that's right. There's going to be women's exclusive releases that I think are pretty fire, and I think that a lot of female sneakers out there are going to really enjoy the releases that Nike have in stock. For example, there was like a black and white, basic color blocking panda sort of color, a Nike Dunk Low release that I think they've dropped a couple of days ago, or early on in January. There's going to be a ton more, like the Street Hawker, which is like a Chinese New Year exclusive. I think that's going to be very culturally impactful for the sneaker community, and I will make a video on that topic later. And there's also going to be a ton of other color neutral dunks that are releasing, with basic color blocking, and with that can be worn casually. There's not too many crazy colors, but I do think that the sneakers, the Nike Dunks that are going to be coming up, they're going to be super wearable and sought after just because of their color blocking. It's partly due to the reason why the Air Jordan 1s are so successful, is that that when they release in basic colors, that sort of retro silhouette with the colors, it just really makes for a nice effect. There's going to be like sort of pastel colors. There's even going to be the Nike SB Dunk and Supreme collaboration, which I think that a lot of people are going to be hyped for. It's going to basically break the sneakerhead world, and I'm super excited to see those. But yeah, again, I'm going to have a ton of the sneakers that are rumored to drop this year on the screen right in front of you, and you can see about all of the nice colorways that are going to be releasing. And I do think that with the low retail price, these are going to be an absolutely amazing investment, and I think that all of these releases will drive up the demand for Nike Dunks even higher, instead of decrease the demand due to an increase in supply. But I don't think that will be the case. I think that will bring a ton of people into the sneaker game, which I think will be really important for the longevity of the sneakerheads. Not to mention that even though they don't retail for that high, they also don't resell for that high after the drop. There's been a ton of sneakers like the UNLV Nike Dunks, and also the Panda sort of black and white Nike Dunks. They're only hovering for around 280 to 350 Australian dollars, which I think in the current climate, a ton of people, that is sort of affordable for a nice pair of sneakers, and that they know that they'll get the use out of it. Not a lot of people would want to pay $500 for a pair of sneakers that they'll wear like once a month, whereas the Nike Dunk Lows, they can be worn as statement pieces, they can be worn as beaters, and even if the sneakers do look beaten in, it does give them more character, and it does, it doesn't make them look dirty. But yeah, I'm just really excited to see where these sneakers go with the Nike Dunks. I don't know if Nike is going to create more colorways even more in the next couple of years. It's just sort of how they manage the hype of what the Nike Dunks have. I don't know if they'll saturate the market with a ton of GR colorways that are available all year round with the amount of supply, like they won't get sold out, or if they might keep them limited and very sought after. But yeah, I do think that these Nike Dunks are going to be amazing investments to make, just because the Nike Dunks, as long as the Nike Dunk train keeps happening, and these sneakers keep releasing, there's always going to be a market for these sneakers. But yeah, that pretty much wraps it up for this video. If you enjoyed, please make sure to like the video, comment down below, and also subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on these sneakers, on the sneaker releases, and what Nike has been doing to release all these Nike Dunks for the sneakerheads out there. I'll see you guys next time in another video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.